God. This could all go horribly wrong at any minute.
Hello there, and welcome to the 238th edition of Louis Black's Rantcast, entitled Honk Honk, Quack Quack, Part 2, or as I would have liked to call it, Part 2. I thought that was the French word for two. It's not, it's deux. And that doesn't work. Part 2 is fine, and it really is because the speech that was given to our generals and the leaders of our armed forces, flown from all parts of the world to Virginia to listen to our president tell them things that I was stunned by the speech. It was 54 minutes of blather. Okay, 54 minutes of a repetition of how Joe Biden fucked him over. Everybody's fucking him over. His tariffs are great. He's the best. He's really, and you better be on your toes, you generals, because I'm coming after you. And wow, we're no longer the Department of Defense because we're the Department of War because they came up with a reason. There is no reason, okay, other than to show some sort of a I'm gonna bust you in the face fucking attitude. And that's what makes that's what makes our army great. Our army doesn't go around going, hey, we're going to punch you in the nose. Here we are. We're going to punch you. Nope. There's a quiet strength that I noticed in the 3 times that I did my USO tours. It is as if he has never been amongst them. It is as if he never learned a lesson from them. Okay. I am not big on, I wasn't big on the military, okay? And because I was kind of separated from them most of my life because I think we made a mistake with the draft in a sense, and because because you knew people who had been drafted. My friend Dave Peace, you had a sense of who was out there doing soldiering. You had a sense of it all and what the military meant, but. And you want us to be a peaceful country. And one of the ways you can achieve that, I discovered, and believe, was through the kind of quiet strength that was emanated from these soldiers. The best in the world. I will repeat, the best in the world. I will repeat, the best in the world. Known as being the best in the world. Known as being the best in the world. And to bring them back, to fly them back, to lecture them over the things that have been done to this poor man who is now in the second presidency of his life, because God, as he suffered, okay? Wow, gets every fucking thing he wants in the sandbox. And then he brings along the Pete Hegseth, who also, I wouldn't even call it, I don't even know, Honk Honk, Quacky Quack. That was his speech, which was mind-boggling also. These were mind-boggling speeches. And many of these guys were flown in and sat there waiting around from 4:30 in the morning until 10:30 or whenever it was when they finally started speaking. Okay? We didn't have the time, the energy, the effort to do this to these people. Okay? They give us their all. And these guys brought them back to they just blather. And Honk Honk, Quack Quack would have been better because his speech was a political speech. It is not the speech that you give to the military, okay? It's not against the law. So why can't he do it? Because it's not against the law. Just because nobody else has done it. The reason nobody else has done it is because the military is there to defend the Constitution. It's not there to give a shit about what the President of the United States thinks about politics, all right? They care about what the President of the United States thinks about our defense. And were they allowed to raise their hands and go, hey, really, do you think, can we get some investigation into the boats that were blown up in Venezuela? And they're not even asking, okay, that I know of. And how could they? Because now they're exhausted. They're prisoners. They're prisoners just like many of us are, all right? Because that's what it's like. He comes out It's like I was going to say that the warden in Cool Hand Luke, but he hasn't reached warden status. And for Pete Hedgehog to stand there and pontificate to these guys about the warrior ethos, the guys who have devoted their lives, all right, to being in the military, our top generals, the best that we have, our warriors, and he's going to tell them how to be, and basically lecturing them as if he's the one who should be able to. Come on, seriously, okay? He went from the military to being a commentator on the news, or maybe he did something in between. But good God, it wouldn't have surprised me if he said, I'm going to show you push-ups. And if women can't do this, then women are not going to be able to do that, and yada, yada. We're going to go. We need to pump up. No, we don't. All right? We put women in the military for a reason. All right? Women want to be in the military. This is not up for discussion anymore. You can't say, well, we're going to not, everybody's got to do what a male does. Why? Why, Pete? Why? Okay? We were doing just fine. There was nothing that caused us to really be, in the losing position of any of the battles that we fought, except for our government putting us in the position in countries that we shouldn't have been in the first fucking place. So why don't you fucking sit down and figure it out, Pete? All right? It's not them who has to figure it out. They're doing what they should be doing. And the reason that many of you are here is because of DEI. We're getting rid of that shit. I mean, seriously, it's in sense what he was implying. And that undermines literally everything in the sense of the fact that these guys, now they're suspicious. You're supposed to make them suspicious of those who came through the ranks, because of DEI. What is the matter with you? All right? Because for a long time, okay, the blacks weren't even allowed in the military, fucking assholes. So they basically had to create the doors. The doors had to be open. I don't care. This is not up for argument. This is not up for discussion. All right? And you create some sort of sense of, well, we're not doing this anymore. We're not going to, we need to have our top people. We do have our top people. Okay? And what made us great was the fact that all of these people, all of them, from every race, creed, and color that came here, to then fight side by side, and you stand there and tell them that, no, it's really, it's always been about Whitey, and you really have fucked things up by trying to make it not about Whitey, which is what the fucking thing is all about. On the other side, and and there's more that I should be saying about this, but I don't have the time or the energy. I have shit to do, and I'm hoping to God that the party that's occurring above me on the roof, where they seem to be having a great time tonight on a Saturday night, and I need to get this done so that I'm doing this earlier than I should, and I'm just being honest with you, so that I can get out the next 2 weeks of the Rantcast, because I'll be down in Chapel Hill, and I don't have the time, and I don't have the equipment to do this. I've got this phenomenal public access studio that I do it in. And so, meanwhile, the president in the Honk Honk Quack Quack section of it, because as I said, the Pete Hedgehog section was, you couldn't even translate it to Honk Honk Quack Quack. All right. God. Hedgehog recited a familiar litany of partisan culture board talking points. Boy, they really did a hell of a job in their highly anticipated. Wow, it wasn't highly anticipated. Not several hundred military officers and rambling and sometimes incoherent speech. This is called the newspaper covering. And the reason we have newspapers, folks, lest you forget, is because they are supposed to, in the best of their abilities, give us what occurred. And sometimes they are incomprehensible is being fucking kind. all right? Those of you, well, that comes from a newspaper and that, that's biased. Nope, that ain't biased. And I'm not biased in that sense. The piece with Hamas, great. Okay, if you can pull that off, great. You say you're going to do it, great. But the kind of I've done this, I've done that, these tariffs, yada, yada, don't worry about it, farmers. You don't sell your soybeans, I'm just going to throw money at you. That nonsense, come on, please. All right? Don't tell me that it wasn't incoherent. I sat and I listened to it, and a lot of it was incoherent. Why? Because he wasn't staying on point. I don't know why he brought him back. I have no comprehension, but one of the scariest moments, he disclosed in that speech that he told Mr. Hedgehog to use American cities as training grounds for the military. That's right. That's really good. Okay? What's going on? Why are they sending the National Guard in? Oh, just to train them on us. The cities run by Democrats are lawless urban hellscapes. But now he was telling military commanders charged with waging war his thinking on where their next deployments could be. It seems that the ones that are run by the radical left Democrats, and they're not radical left, okay? They're not. I don't care that he says it, and some of you fucking believe it, all right? Because it's just not fucking true, all right? Not even close. Even the guy that they're so afraid of that they keep calling the socialist running here. All he's doing is saying, I think this should be done, okay? Is it like this? Is it radical? Yeah, it's certainly. It's radical in the sense that, boy, should we really try to make sure everybody has a safety net? Yeah, should we make sure that people are capable of living in this city without starving to death and be able to fucking be able to be the working class in this city? Huh? That shouldn't be a part of our ethos? It's unbelievable. And he said it seems that the ones that are run by the radical left Democrats, what they've done to San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, they're very unsafe places. I live in New York City. It is not an unsafe place. All right. Do I feel comfortable here? But every so often, as I do in many places I go and spend time, I may feel a little, that's a little odd, because I'm dealing with a bunch of people that he doesn't seem to realize are mentally ill, all right? And he's not dealing with that. And that's really what's going on in a number of cases here, a number of them. And it needs to be dealt with, and we're not. And so I'm just about fucking sick and tired of it. He's going to and then after he says it, literally, they go into an apartment house on the south side of Chicago, which is rough, and they drop in, they go on the roof, and they fucking bust into apartments, and they basically took a ton of people. 37 people were arrested. The children in the building, the number of them, they say. Now, this is where you do wonder if it's true or not. They say that the folks there said that the kids were zip tied. They kind of went through. People looked. Their doors were banged down. There's no reason for this. Okay, there were a couple of people in there, maybe 3, 4, 5, and if so, you just go through. All right. You do not need a military style raid. And a number of the people said who had been in the military said it was like a military style raid. We've got to stop. We have got to get a grip on this bullshit. Okay? This is not the end of the earth. We do not have a ton of fucking, there were a lot of Venezuelans there. So God knows they're all members of the gang. Bullshit. Okay? We're under the rule of law, okay? There's some people who get, would I like it if I knew people who'd been killed by someone who was here and illegally? Yes, I would be deeply upset. Yes, it's upsetting, okay? but it does not require the level of shit that we are doing. No, they do not get medical health care, all right? They go to the emergency room, all right? It's not that they have Medicare or Medicaid. Generally, the hospital sometimes will actually take care of them. And then that gets basically charged to the hospital itself or the city or the state. I do not know how it works, but it is not Medicare or Medicaid. They are not sucking us dry, okay? They are, as always and always have been, the lifeblood. That's what immigrants are. They're our lifeblood, okay? And to do this to them, okay? Well, we're going to get these guys. In the meantime, you're torturing Americans, citizens who were living in that apartment building. They already had it rough enough. And you made it rougher. Okay? The fuck is the matter with these people? I'm sick and I'm tired of it. And the military, which knows more than they do, and you're getting down, there was a point where I, at some point, thought, maybe a military coup isn't so bad. I'm beginning to reach that point, okay? Because if the Republicans in Congress can't see what's going on, maybe the military can't. They had to sit through that speech, 54 minutes of Honk Honk, Quack Quack. Son of a bitch. And I'm going to wrap it up there because I can't go on. And I hope you couldn't hear the sound of the party bleeding over. So a Michigan 7th grader has been expelled for disarming a classmate who brought a gun to school. Sarah Sabitra McClurkin says her son used his hunting experience to unload and disassemble the weapon, averting a potential tragedy. Because he didn't immediately report the incident, however, the boy was expelled by school administrators. It's devastating because he's a bright kid. All he wants to do is be a kid. Okay? Who knows? Is that enough of the story to know? I don't know. And the proposed bill would require all public universities in Oklahoma to erect permanent memorials to Charlie Kirk. GOP state Senator Shane Jeff's legislation mandates that every Charlie Kirk Memorial Plaza feature a statue of the slain conservative activist either standing with his family or sitting at a table with an empty seat across from him, symbolizing Kirk's commitment to free speech and debate. Okay, he's not the only one. I've repeated it. I said it last week, 2 weeks ago. He is not the only one who did that. He's the one who got shot. But he also said stuff that was beyond the pale. Beyond the pale. Okay? And because he listened to others and would have an argument about why he was right when he was wrong. And I should do the research and get out and read all the things. I read them. It's tough enough to read them. Don't tell me that you don't tell me that we're building statues to him throughout the country. He is certainly not the one. We're already throwing under the bus those who really were the ones who did the work, the real work of listening and making sure and doing it in a peaceful way. And so was he. But but you're getting rid of that history and you're putting him in instead? No. Shame on you. Seriously. That'll be the name of the next one. Honk, honk, quack, quack, shame, shame. God. But thank you for tuning in. I don't know how much longer you can listen to me. Hopefully by the time I come back from Chapel Hill, I'll have lightened up a bit. Wow. I'll be down there with Sammy, and I'll be doing a couple of classes, and I'll be, I'm looking forward to it. Get to see some old friends, which is always good. Maybe figure out, what I'll be doing down there, and hopefully find my way to a space down there that I can begin writing, because I'm tired of doing the research on madness. Okay, I'd rather write about it. I'd have characters who are insane than watch those in public figures who are insane. The warrior ethos. But let's get to the end. And I really want to thank everyone who sent in rants. There's some really great ones coming up. I want to thank the folks for all of you who send in your rants. It's and I'm glad you're getting it off your chest. Some of you sent in way too many. I hope it helps you. Those who are sending in a lot, I'm really, I don't even write that much. That's what I'm trying to get to. So I'm really hoping you enjoy every minute of the podcast, the Rantcast, and of the writing, and that you enjoy writing. So get something off your chest. I'm thrilled. It continues to be something that just, I go, wow, he's pissed about that. She is irritated about this. There's certain things people, but there's certain things you go, wow, that's spectacular. Those are the ones that, as they all do, but those are the eye-openers for me, and they all make my day. It's a pleasure and a privilege to spend time with all of you. That's for sure. And here's hopefully to a good week ahead. And we've had some great weather, and hopefully it continues that way. And whoever you're rooting for, good luck on your baseball. If it's a baseball team or a football team, and enjoy every minute of it, because it's our distraction, and we need it. We need a bit of that, and then go back to dealing with Honk Honk, Quack Quack. Here's one from Bill Bohr. Interesting one. This is not really a rant. It's a simple statement of fact. It's not a bagel if you don't boil it. There's really nothing left to argue. But I do go on. You can edit out the rest if you like. I made my point. No, Bill. I'm going to let them hear your point. If you don't, because I did not know this, and I live in New York. If you don't boil it, all you've got is a roll with a hole, not a bagel. Oh, and tell your listeners, if they put mayonnaise, more commonly referred to as Satan's sperm, on their bagel, they'll burn in hell. Whether they believe in hell or not, I will personally see to it. And those things that Breuger sells, not bagels at all. How do I know? Because they are just like what passed as a bagel in Montreal. Soft, squishy bread with a gigantic hole. Nothing like an actual bagel. Breuger's started in Vermont, in upstate New York, for God's sake. That whole region may as well be called southern Quebec. Anyway, the Jews in Montreal, at least when I was living there 46 years ago, were mainly Sephardic. Whereas in New York City and the surrounding area, the dominant Jewish culture is Ashkenazi. And the bagels are, well, bagels. And they're boiled. So maybe that's what those things that were sold in Canada and at Breuger's are. Sephardic bagels. If so, they could have called them something else, maybe an old Ladino. Why not Ladino, the Sephardic equivalent of Yiddish? It's a dialect of Old Spanish with Hebrew and a couple of other languages chucked in to the mix for inclusiveness, or something that some older Jews still speak, but mostly not. A real shame, as I swear, natively in Yiddish. Should be great in addition to be able to swear in Ladino too. Now that I know about it, is that really? That's for real? I'd never heard of that. That's Ladino. Wow. A dialect of Old Spanish with Hebrew and a couple of other languages chucked in. Wow. Like I said, he ends, no boil, no bagel. Cheers. Bill Bohr. Thank you, Bill. Thank you much. Wow. I've never heard of Ladino, and I didn't know that bagels needed to be boiled, and you've kept your calm about it, too. That's because you knew you were right. But I'm sure there are thousands, millions probably around the world who do not know that and are eating down bagels thinking, oh, this is a bagel. Not bread with a hole in it, a bagel. William Mazurs likes to drink and is a little upset about some things. Why the fuck does liquor come in all fruity fucking flavors? When I drink whiskey or rum, I want to catch a buzz. I don't want to drink dessert. If I want a peach flavor, I eat a cobbler. The people who make those flavors should be killed. What were they fucking thinking? The only thing I want to see used in whiskey is corn, not a fruit salad. And don't get me started on those god-awful IPA beers. I don't want strawberry crunch, lemonade flavor, or whatever awful flavor. I swear, they probably bet each other on what weird fucking flavored beer they created. When I go to a bar, I don't want to have to search for a beer-flavored beer and a regular shot of whiskey. How long before someone sells regular alcohol? It's like going to Starbucks and ordering a regular cup of black coffee. They give you a stare. I just want my shit to taste normal. Well, William, it shouldn't be tough to get a shot in a beer. I mean, I realize that they're cluttering the shelves with this new stuff because their big kids aren't drinking anymore. They're just not doing it. They're on to other things. They're on the gummy revolution and whatever else. And they they're trying to sucker them in with fruity flavors. And, of course, they're trying to sucker in 16-year-olds, I could imagine. Or 14. 14 probably, in order to widen that audience. Got that fruity fucking flavors. I hate them. Except the black pepper vodka. I like that. And I had a little tomato vodka, where it wasn't red. It was just had that touch of tomato taste, and it was very good. Of course, it wasn't made in this country. So thank you, William. Thank you. From Liss Troutwine. Hi, Louis. I need a free therapy session. I went for my vaccinations, and I got pushback from the pharmacy. I was so awestruck that I put yes to me being pregnant when I went for my sterilization over 10 years ago. According to RFK Jr., you can't get the COVID vaccine unless you have a chronic condition in the state of New Hampshire. I said, not a problem. I have multiple sclerosis. He said, not good enough. So he gave me a list of issues that will get me the COVID vaccine. And ironically, obesity got it. I'm muscular, so I'm pretty heavy, about 100 pounds overweight. That is what got me the vaccine. Keep in mind, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I can't afford to take one unscheduled day off due to being sick. With me getting paid bi-weekly, it's worse. Whew. Thank you, Louis. I needed this. Well, I hope it helped. I do hope it helped. I read another one of yours earlier on this afternoon. And I like this one. Wow. You need a chronic condition to get a flu shot. What bullshit. What utter bullshit. Huh? I just had my flu shot today. Seriously. It's part of the reason I read it. God. You've got multiple sclerosis. That doesn't count. But it's unbelievable. Being overweight. Well, I'm glad you got it, and I'm sorry you have to work paycheck to paycheck. Of course, nobody thinks anything. That something's wrong with. They always do. Somehow it's your problem. God damn it, and you're working. It's just enraged. No safety net. Safety net would be God damn it. Shouldn't put people through this. Should not put people through this. Okay, they are working. 85% of the country is working. There's a portion of the country that is mentally ill. And there are people who are going to scam the system no matter what the fuck you do. Son of a bitch. Did none of these people go to fucking elementary school, junior high, or high school? God damn it, they all went to private schools. So everything was paid for, and you got a lunch there, and it was, oh, fuck. Here's an interesting one from David Sewarholz. Lou, when I wake up every morning, a vision appears in front of me and shows all of the shit I have to worry about today. It's the first 10 minutes of MSNBC with all of the bad shit going on in the world. ICE, Gaza, real sugar and Coca-Cola. I'm having a hard time focusing. I can't worry about it all. There isn't enough time in the day. But on top of this, run-of-the-mill personal stuff like aging parents, my knee replacement, and the possibility of developing dementia. Should I worry about RFK Jr. causing an outbreak of whooping cough, or the cost of my Ozempic, Kid Rock getting a Kennedy Center Award, or my mother-in-law's failing health? There are not enough hours in the day. I may have a solution. Why doesn't some bright Harvard and Stanford educated engineers develop an AI tool that helps me prioritize what I should worry about each day? I could just input all my personal fucked up things and rate them with a grading system, maybe from mildly to totally fucked. The AI would add my problems to the massive list of fucked up shit that everyone in the world is dealing with and update the threat level daily. Then the AI would spin like the wheel of fortune. Out pops a list of the 3 things I should worry about today. I think I can handle 3 to 5 tops if I add a bourbon. Mm-hmm. Maybe today it's the invasion of Greenland, LGBTQIA rights, and my irritable bowel syndrome. Tomorrow, Russian drones, my failing exercise regimen, and climate change. This tool would allow me to spend more time worrying and less time wondering about what to worry about. And it removes my guilt about what I'm not worrying about. I'm willing to give up some free will for peace of mind. Anyway, I filed a trademark application for my fuck list, and I'm willing to take in outside investors if you or anyone else would like a piece of the action. You could ask, actually, ChatGPT, ChatGPT, but whatever the fuck it is. David, I don't remember. It's something else you can worry about. Memory, I guess you mentioned. But you can probably ask it now. I bet people are probably ask it. See what it tells you should worry about. You can give it the whole list and ask it to prioritize it for you. And if it works, then you can, your idea of making some money on this isn't going to work, but at least your personal problem is solved. It's an interesting concept. It is. It's just one thing after another after another. It rolls right into the dryer that is our lives. Spin cycle. This one takes the cake is the reason how you'll hear. Felix K. I could almost, not quite, but almost pretend to think about forgiving God for things like the Egyptian plagues, Sodom and Gomorrah, or the destruction of the Canaanites. But I cannot, under any circumstances, ever forgive or forget the flood in which God did, in his infinite wrath, drown each and every kitten on the face of the fucking earth without so much as an afterthought of mercy or compassion. Seriously, what more does it take to prove that such a God is the most evil fucking asshole son of a bitch you've ever heard of than drowning kittens? It's bad enough. And this evil fucking asshole son of a bitch didn't drown a mere litter of kittens. He drowned all of them. Every goddamn last one. Not just in the city, not just in the land, but in every fucking corner of the literally godforsaken planet. It's bad enough that he drowned all humans as an act of petty revenge for the so-called sins of mankind, but for fuck's sake, you leave the kittens out of it. I don't give a flying horse's dick what kind of sins men committed. There's no sin evil enough to justify the drowning of kittens. God damn it. Really, Christians? You read this story time and again where kittens are unjustly drowned, and you still think this prick you call God is a hero? Well, if that's your idea of what it means to be a just and loving God, then your religion truly has no place shoving its divine and almighty ass into our governments and schools. Keep your kitten-drowning, child-starving, mass-murdering God far the fuck away from us. As far away as the East is from the West, in fact. Wow. That's a spectacular reason for the separation of church and state. The concept of the kitty drowning God. Wow, Felix, thank you. That made my day. Don't really know why. But, wow, that was something. Joel Kingston. Greetings from the Great White North, Lewis. Putting becoming the United States' 51st state matter aside for the moment, here's how we can help the Donald achieve his gluttonous quest for Canadian water. He wants us to simply open the big valve he imagines we have to let our water flow south across the border. Okay, Donald, here's what we're going to do. There is a plan for both eastern and western U.S., since each territory encompasses their own unique watersheds. On the east side, our water would eventually flow down through the Everglades to combat the big sugar-caused hyper-salinity situation along the Florida coast. And on the west side, our water would flow down the non-existent in sections due to urban water diversion and irrigation extraction, Colorado River, all the way to the sea, with happy fishes all the way. Millions of folks will once again rejoice over this miracle of miracles, life-sustaining water. So here's how we'll do it. From coast to coast, east to west, your friendly, sympathetic northern neighbors will gather, toes to the line along the border and face south. Each of us will have a bottle of Molson's Canadian lager beer in one hand and our pecker in the other. And upon a prearranged, synchronized blast from a foghorn, chug the beer and let flow a monumental stream of piss, the likes of which have not been seen since Noah floated the ark. There you go, Donald. We just had to pass your water through our kidneys first. Cheers. Thank you, Mr. Kingston. Thank you very much. Thanks to all of you for listening to my Rantcast. If you have a rant you want to get off your chest, send it in to me at lewisblack.com/live. You can think of it as therapy, or whatever you want to think of it as. Just let it rip. And I want to thank the true stars of our show, the ranters, and the splendid rants they gave us. Lewis Black's Rantcast was created and hosted by me. Lewis Black. Our live rant audio was produced by James Salter. Our theme song by Chris Lane. Executive producer, Ben Brewer. Executive producers, Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly.